And the Oscar goes to...
నా పాట చూడు నాటు 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 వీర నాటు 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 పూర నాటు
Thank you, thank you. Okay, Console, do I have your permission to begin? Yeah. Please settle down. I will be now calling our heavyweight dignitaries on stage. I'd like to begin with Sri Apurva Chandra, Secretary, Ministry INB, to join us on stage. Mr. Subrakant Panda, President FICCI and Managing Director, India Metals and Ferroalloys. Ms. Jyoti Deshpande, Chair FICCI M&E Committee and CEO Viacom Media and President Media and Content Business Reliance Industries. Jyoti ma'am, please join us on stage. I will now request Mr. Shailesh Pathak to join us on stage. Our very own Secretary General FICCI. Mr. Ashish Ferwani from ENY, the man behind our genius report. We have Ayushman also supposed to be joining us anytime soon, but hero hai, you know how it is. आप सब मीडिया के हो, अभी कैसे बताना? हम शुरू कर लेते हैं. तो I'll seek the blessings and the permission of our members on the dais. Are you all comfortable? We are good to go. So they've given a thumbs up. Can we have a big round of applause for FICCI Frames 2023? It's officially set into motion. To start the affairs, I'm going to request Mr. Subrakant Panda, President FICCI and Managing Director, Indian Metals and Ferroalloys, to have our welcome address. Subrakant.
Good morning to all of you. Mr. Apurva Chandra, Secretary, INB Government of India, dignitaries on the dais, in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. It's a delight to be here and to welcome all of you to FICCI Frames, the 23rd edition, in fact, which is Asia's largest annual global convention for media and entertainment. Very far away from my industry, but I'm here in my capacity as President FICCI, and this is certainly one of our premier events, and I absolutely had to be here. So over the years, Frames has gone on to become the definitive event in this sector, and indeed a platform for all stakeholders to get together and discuss the challenges and opportunities. And as the Indian media and entertainment industry undergoes a digital revolution, this is indeed a pivotal moment in time, and as I said, I'm delighted to be here with all of you. If I were to talk about the industry, of course, you're all from the industry and stalwarts and are fully aware, but if I were to just go through some of the data points, it's clearly on an upward trajectory, growing at a CAGR of 10.5% over the last several years, leading to projected revenues of 2.86 trillion rupees by 2025. And in 22-23, the year just gone by, despite all the challenges, it grew at an above average rate of 11.4%, which speaks volumes of the industry's resilience and its potential to create new opportunities in a rapidly evolving landscape. There's a vast and varied consumer base with insatiable appetite for content in multiple languages. And I think what is driving the change is the willingness of consumers especially to embrace new technologies. And of course, the consumption of content in different formats has increased significantly. If I were to talk a little bit about the digital revolution, which is very much on its way in the country, underway in the country, the digital push and the significant investment in digital public infrastructure has made smartphones ubiquitous, and that is what is driving the revolution in the industry, so to say. Not to mention that there is today internet access in the remote parts of the country as well, and the cost of data is one of the lowest in the world. And this has really contributed to digital media emerging a clear winner, contributing 130 plus billion rupees to the industry's overall revenues. And what is striking is that the share of the total pie has moved up from 16% in 2019 to a staggering 27% in 2022, and the trajectory is clearly upwards. This is indeed a testament to the accelerating shift to digital consumption patterns riding on the back of a robust ecosystem. And of course, with digital online gaming and television leading the charge in contributing about 65% of growth, animation, VFX, live events, and films make up the balance, resulting in a diverse range of factors and trends. And the sector's growth underscores the crucial role in shaping the cultural landscape. In this context, I believe India is uniquely positioned to be a global leader. We have a rich cultural heritage and a vibrant storytelling tradition which is capable of inspiring and captivating global audiences. And at one point in time where we were an outlier, I think today we are gradually moving to the epicenter of the industry. And one of the reasons for this, of course, is favorable demographics, which has implications in many industries, including media and entertainment. And not only is demographics driving consumption and consumption patterns and all the changing habits, but if we impart the right skill sets, India can also become the epicenter of the global media and entertainment industry in terms of taking the lead when it comes to VFX, etc., all that is happening in this industry. So the abundance of talent and diverse content, of course, gives media companies the luxury of tapping into the country's huge talent pool as it marches ahead. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the subsectors, starting with advertising, which has achieved a very significant milestone in 2022, breaching the 1 trillion mark figure in terms of revenues for the first time and contributing about 0.4% to GDP. These are significant numbers. But if I were to talk about gaming, which is one of the fastest growing subsectors, with millennials fueling the expansion of this subsector, and millennials comprise 65% of the population. And as I said, they're not just changing media consumption habits, but also the rush to online gaming. I mean, this is something a decade or a little bit more than that would not have figured in any conversation, but today it is one of the driving forces of this industry. So online gaming is expected to be the 4th largest segment by 2025, with more than 500 million people actively engaged. Monetization models are evolving, and both premium and mass, as well as regional content and variations thereof are seeing a huge surge. So if I were to conclude, I think there must be there's a need to be innovative and agile for all industry participants to really respond to the changing and evolving trends, and strategic foresight and the ability to be in the right place in terms of where this industry is headed will determine winners going ahead. The industry is growing and transforming as companies push the boundaries of creativity and look to attract eyeballs. And of course, conducive policies have led to the industry becoming an important contributor to the Indian economy, not just in terms of all the creativity and the entertainment, etc., but clearly, besides glamour and entertainment, jobs are being created as well, which is what is very, very important. FICCI is committed to working with all stakeholders for the growth of the Indian media and entertainment industry and supporting its global ambitions. And I take this opportunity to welcome you once again and thank you for continuing to make this one of the premier events in the industry. Thank you.
Check. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, once again, those who have just joined us. My name is Viraf Patel. Something has just happened in the last 7 minutes. One of our dignitaries has joined us. Because they have so much goodwill on screen, I think we can pardon him for being a little late. Yaar, traffic, Bombay, jaise shehar mein late nahi honge to kahan hoga? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say 3 very apolitical, unpolitical words. Sperm donor, bald man trying to find love, dubious call center runner. It's just some of the characters he's played. Ayushmann Khurrana, welcome to FICCI Frames 2023. Welcome, Ayushmann. Thank you for being with us. आप settle हो जाओ, deep breath ले लो, आपको कुछ drink, health drink, anything. Now that you're in an action mode. Big round of applause for one of the best movies of last year, Action Hero. आपके picture में एक scene है ना कि जब वो the action hero finds out that he's all alone and he calls his manager, nobody's going to help me, I'm going to do this all alone here in London. You know that moment? That's exactly how I'm feeling right now. I'm doing this all alone here right now. Okay, moving on. Now that we have our dais in full throttle, I'm going to call upon a very special person for us. I say special person for us because she's our first woman chair of the FICCI Media and Entertainment Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. You know who I'm talking about. She holds space in the media and entertainment landscape like no other woman has, and she is truly an inspiration for so many out there. Jyoti ma'am, please, the stage is all yours. Big round of applause for Jyoti Deshpande. Will you allow me to just to make sure that you get comfortable with the pointer?
What do you need me to do?
Let's see if it works. Rajat?
It works. But
It
I
works?
don't think I'm going to read from there.
You don't need
No,
that.
I won't read from there. I'll just adjust the height. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm going to read from here because I have a habit of going off script. And I have been told that I'm not allowed to go off script. So I'm going to try and stick to the script as much as possible, but try and speak from my heart as well. So first of all, a very good morning to all the dignitaries present here today, Mr. Chandra, Mr. Shubhrakant Panda, Ayushmann, Ashish, and Mr. Shailesh. And a very, very warm welcome to all of you for coming from far and wide at this very wonderful venue. So very warm welcome to all of you. It's an honor and pleasure to be here today, looking into the future of a powerful and dynamic industry. These are exciting times for content, commerce, and industry, which are the perennial pillars of the media and entertainment business, growing exponentially, fueled by technological innovation. India is proudly leading the charge, taking our mantra of Make in India and show the world. The rich and diverse history of our stories has evolved from over the last 90 years, from Alamara, the first Indian talkie, to now the Elephant Whisperers, a story from our nation's heartlands making waves internationally. Quite literally, the world dances to the tune of our Natu Natu as India's voice rings proudly in the global entertainment landscape. In 2015, Jio started a digital revolution to connect everyone and everything everywhere. This dovetails with Digital India, the flagship program of the government of India with a vision to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. With disruptions such as free IPL on Jio Cinema and an imminent equally disruptive entertainment launch, a digital-forward economy has already seen content and data consumption levels reach monumental proportions by global standards. Indians now consume nearly 20 GB of data per month on an average, #1 in the world already, and expected to reach 46 GB by 2027. The proliferation of smartphones, connected TV, advent of 5G, and affordable data rates all contribute to the fulfillment of the Digital India dream. Propelled by double-digit growth by 2025, we are set to become a 2.83 trillion industry. I won't reveal any more of the numbers because I don't want to steal Ashish Ferwani's thunder. So that's the only number I'm going to say in my speech. We were told that the Indian content production sector is extremely fragmented and we can never scale it. Just last month, Geo Studios unveiled its slate of 100+ stories of movies and web series across several languages, a case study in the geofication of the content industry. It would be my dream to smash through every forecast that Ashish presents as we lead the digital way forward to the world, be it through democratization of the creator economy or disruption in digital distribution. No one innovates like India. No one can implement to scale like India. With that, I would like to thank the entire M&E fraternity for coming together and working as one to realize this vision. I would also like to thank the I&B Ministry for their progressive approach towards policy and regulation. Last but not the least, the entire FICCI team, led by Leena, who is absolutely a role model, and all our partners who have researched, written, and put together this much-awaited report. Thank you all again for participating, and hope you have a fruitful 3 days of knowledge sharing and exchange of ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. That was really something. Geofication. उस geofication में मेरा भी एक शो है. देख लेना. अभी हमारे हीरो साहब को आते ही हम काम पे लगा देते हैं. Ayushman, how does it feel to be at FICCI Frames? First FICCI Frames? Second. Wow. When was the first one? 2014. Is it a good time to call you at the dais and get you to talk? You good? When am I ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Ayushman Khurrana. Achha, फिर जाने से पहले, I know you'll say all these interesting things and you'll look all yummy and dashing and all that. You have to try and teach me a song a little later.
I will.
A little later.
Yeah, for sure. Good morning, everyone. It's a bright, beautiful Wednesday morning. And namaskar to all the dignitaries on stage, including Honorable Shri Anurag Thakurji, our I&B Minister, Government of India. I'm sure digitally he'll be connected with us. And Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he was supposed to join us, but somebody told me he was busy with the cabinet meeting. And of course, Jyoti ji, great, well said, all power to women representation. And Eknath Shinde ji, he's not here. Mr. Shubhakant Panda, President FICCI and Managing Director, Indian Metals and Ferroalloys Limited. Shri Apurva Chandra, Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. And Ashish ji, also Shailesh ji, and of course Buraq Deniz, who was supposed to join us, but उनकी flight वापस चलेगी. मुझे लगा Indians के साथ ऐसा होता है, but he'll be dearly missed. और सुबह सुबह मेरे मन में ख्याल भी आया है कुछ. Like it's too early in the morning. Really sorry अगर इसका नाम मैं भूल गया हूँ तो, because apart from Akshay Kumar, there are other actors who don't get up early, wake up early, so it's a little difficult. It's an early start, of course, relatively. और सुबह सुबह मेरे मन में ख्याल आया था. In fact, 2 years back, I had written something called अलमारी की खुशबू. It goes like, बहुत दिनों बाद तुम्हारी अलमारी खोली, बहुत दिनों बाद तुम्हारी अलमारी खोली और मिला तुम्हारी खुशबू से. वो खुशबू जो जिसे मैं जानता था, पहचानता था तुमसे भी बेहतर, और वो खुशबू रह जाती थी तुम्हारे जाने के बाद भी उस अलमारी में. आज मेरा मन किया कि उस खुशबू को एक बक्से में बंद करके ले जाऊंगा अपने साथ, और रोज़ मिलूंगा तुम्हें थोड़ा थोड़ा, रोज़ मिलूंगा तुम्हें थोड़ा थोड़ा. So this is the kind of love I share with the mega city Mumbai. ये अलमारी की खुशबू is like ऊर्जा, इस शहर की ऊर्जा की तरह है. It's that energy which really helped me in my initial days. And whenever I go for outdoors or for events or for shoots, I take that energy with me. It really helps me to work. सन 2008 में एक लड़का आया था चंडीगढ़ से एक्टर बनने के लिए. As soon as I touched down in Mumbai, this was this infinite energy which really helped me. इस ऊर्जा ने मेरी बहुत मदद की थी. लोकल ट्रेन में धक्के खाने से लेकर ऑडिशन की लाइनों में लगने तक. I'm really glad that the city has accepted me. thank you, Mumbai, for being really democratic with talents and passions. And today I stand in front of you as an opinion leader, as a bona fide opinion leader amongst these esteemed dignitaries. ये शहर मेरा है मुंबई और इस शहर ने बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. It's like a give and take relationship between Mumbai and me. और ये मेरी कर्मभूमि है और ये वो कर्मभूमि है जिसे भारतवर्ष की कहानियों को वो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर लेकर गई है और हिंदुस्तान का नाम रोशन किया है. 10 years back, I had gone to this place called Madumalai Wildlife Sanctuary. It's at the tri-junction of Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And I witnessed firsthand the relationship between man and animal. I never thought in 2023 that relationship would be told worldwide and it'll give us an Oscar. तो कहानी का सार ये है कि जितना हम अपनी जड़ों से जुड़ेंगे उतना ही आगे जाएंगे. The more local we go, more global we reach, as they say. Our film industry is at the cusp of global greatness, and I'm fortunate to be living at this time where world has become a creative melting pot of culture. India is being looked at as a creative juggernaut, and our industry is being welcomed globally. I thank you again for inviting me to this event, prestigious event. I will always aspire to contribute in the world of cinema through my craft and the choices I make, through the stories I tell. Thank you so much. Suprabhat. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Ayushman. We'll quickly go to the next section of the inauguration, our prized FICCI ENY Media and Entertainment Report launch. So can we request each of the dignitaries to flash this beautiful report, which is painstakingly put together by the team at FICCI and ENY of Ashish. Each report weighs about 23 kilos. We will find out from Ashish later why. अच्छा ये रिबन निकल गई, अब ताली मार दीजिए ना प्लीज, ऐसा लगे लॉन्च हो गई रिपोर्ट. Thank you, dignitaries. So 23 years back, there used to be no trade report on the business. It's FICCI which sort of decided, hey, to have an industry status, we need to put in this work, and to have these reports, there will be projections then based on these reports. And 23 years later, today we have this fantastic report, and the legacy goes on. So big round of applause for FICCI's effort and with ENY to make this. Ashish, now you're sitting and clapping there happily, but now look at Ayushman, he's struggling to go through this thick report. Can you come here and owe us an explanation? Why is this such a thick report?
Okay. Thank you, everyone, to all the dignitaries on stage, to all the media fraternity. A big namaste from my side. I will start by saying that I was part of the first FICCI report that was released 20 editions ago, where I wrote one small section on the events industry then. And then, of course, it went to other consulting firms. But I came back, and now this is the 6th year in a row that we are releasing this report. And I must thank you for all the love, because we get a lot of good feedback. We get a lot of bouquets and brickbats from the report. We can't please everyone, so bear with that this time. And with that, I'll go into summarizing the 404 pages that we've put out for you in the report. It is free from download from ey.com/in, so please feel free to take your copy from there. Could I have the presentation up? Okay, so I'm just going to quickly start with the sizing. As an industry, for the first time this year, we crossed the 2 lakh crore or 2 trillion rupee size. And I think we need to put our hands together for that. Because after getting debilitated in COVID, where we fell by over 23%, I think we've had 2 successful years of revival, and it just shows the resilience of the creative industry, that many other industries still haven't reached their pre-COVID levels, but we have actually managed that. So that's a great thing. Interestingly, the size of 2.1 lakh crores does not include the size of data charges that are used to consume all the digital content, the music, the news, the gaming. So this year what we did is we said, let's try and estimate that number as well. Then how much out of the almost 2 lakh crores that people pay for data, retail data, is consumed in media. We found that number to be 90,000 crores, right? So now if I add that on to the 2.1 lakh crores, we're talking about a 3 lakh crore industry, which really puts us out there as a genuinely sizable industry contributing significantly to the GDP. And I think that's a very interesting take that we're seeing right now. Advertising also for the first time crossed 1 lakh crores in the country. But look at the breakup. Almost 48% was digital. Digital today is a 50,000 crore advertising market. This includes about 18 to 20,000 crores, which small and medium businesses are spending on the platforms like search and social and OTT. And I think that itself is a huge struggle. So today, if you look at it, digital advertising is larger than both television and print advertising together. And that itself is a big change that we've seen. I actually feel that, this year we are like on the tipping point. We've got an industry, which if I include the data charges I was talking about, almost 50% of the industry is now digital. And we are amongst one of 7 or 8 large economies in the world which have reached that level today. A large part because of good data prices, a large part because of just an insane creator ecosystem, creating lots and lots of content, both short, medium, and long form. And I think that itself is going to drive the next 5 years. I have no doubt in my mind we're going to grow very, very healthy over the next few years with the digital revolution that we are witnessing in media. And that shows, if you look at it, those vertical bars really represent the amount, the absolute growth in numbers that you see. Now, we grew about 35,000 crores last year in absolute numbers. 48% of that was new media, which is digital, short video, and online gaming. Almost half the growth came from new media, and 40% came from sectors which had been hurt very badly by COVID. Everything outside the house, whether it was cinemas, or whether it was events, or whether it was out-of-home advertising. All of those resurged back with great vigor. So everyone who's saying traditional is not happening is not true, because the traditional media also grew. All except television, where advertising grew, but distribution did not grow, but every other medium actually ended up growing. So again, showing a very, very healthy sign in the economy. And where are we headed? We are still going to grow at a CAGR of at least 10.5% for the next 3 years, all the way to 2.8 trillion, 2.8 lakh crores, right? And again, it's going to be driven by new media. It's going to be driven also by television, but every single segment, I think, is headed for growth. Again, a very, very healthy sign that you are actually seeing. Of course, 2/3 almost of that growth will be driven by digital and new media, and 1/3 by traditional media. So where does television, everyone's asking me, where's television going, right? Is it the deathbed of television? Absolutely not, right? And I'm going to take you through very interesting things that are happening. We're seeing an increase in cord cutters. There are about 2 million cord cutters today, which will probably go to about 10 million cord cutters households by 2025. But also free TV is growing. So it's about 45 million homes today, growing to about 50 million homes by 2025. What will come down, however, is pay TV, which will come down by a few million. It's already lost about 10 million homes over the last 2-3 years. It'll lose maybe 4 or 5 million homes more. But at the end of the day, we still will have 140 million TV dark homes in this country. And if I can see a bigger opportunity for the government to come with private and do something about it, I can't see that. I think it's just aching for a good PPP model to come out, and let's see how we can televise or digitize the balance 150 million homes of this country. So again, there is a huge opportunity. Overall, television, large screen viewing will increase. It will not come down. But how we get there will involve a lot of regulatory support. OTT SVOD. Now, this is very interesting. And we saw OTT being in about 42 million households today paying for OTT in this country, which will probably grow, which has probably grown to 45 million in 2022. But we see it flat next year and marginal growth after that at the current price points. But if, as was hinted in today's speech by Jyoti, that you're going to transformatively change it, just a little hint, right? Hoping to see a lot more aggregation, more products like Tata Play Binge coming in. and a better price point, we can see that growing to even 100 million homes within 3 years. So just a little pricing correction, a little bundling can actually double the size of this industry in 3 years. Again, a lot of innovation can be expected on those fronts. Online gaming, 90 to 100 million Indians play games every single day. And we expect that within 3 years to double. And that is, in my mind, a pretty conservative estimate. I'm a chartered accountant, I'm born pretty conservative. So I'm going to say doubling of the industry is absolutely happening. Main growth of 21% CAGR, a huge growth, one of our fastest growing segments, will come from real money transaction gaming, but even casual gaming will grow at 15%. My mind, there's a chance the economy, this segment of the industry just doubles in 3 to 4 years. Very, very probable. Animation and VFX, now just look at those two bubbles, right? The US top 10 studios spent $163 billion on content in 2022. Just the top 10 studios in the United States. The entire media and entertainment industry of India, all of it, TV, digital, print, radio, events, animation, gaming, out of home, everything put together is just 26 billion. Now, safe to say that at least 20% of that 163 billion, at a very conservative estimate, would be animation, VFX, and post-production, if not higher, right? Which itself is a $35 billion opportunity. And India needs to grab onto that. And I think with the AVGC policy, we've set a framework in that direction, and now we should see the benefits. I'm putting my neck out there and saying our 10,000 crore industry, which is just $1.2 billion, should within 3 years more than double to about 19,000 crores. And I'm looking forward to a lot of people in this room. I can see Ashish, I can see Biren, and many others. Taking this initiative. It's a huge, huge opportunity for Make in India and for Create in India. And therefore, to conclude, my last slide, where is this industry going? From 2.1 lakh crores, headed to about 2.8 lakh crores in 3 years. That's a 10.5% CAGR, but it's a different CAGR for different parts of it. Advertising growing very strongly at 11%, driven by an increasing per capita income. Interestingly, our per capita income today in India is about $2,500. It's very low because we have a very large base. But even with that large base, that per capita income is going to $3,000 by 2025. And that is actually a much, much more important finding than anything in this report, because the way that will pan out is a huge burst in consumption that we're going to see. And therefore, advertising will go very, very strongly over the next 3 years. Subscription I've put slightly muted because I feel there will be a correction in pricing at some point, and therefore I've taken a 5% growth. But the strongest part, the stellar part, I think is going to be content production and services. And that, I think, India has the opportunity to grow at 20% out there. So with that, I'd like to conclude my summary of the report. It is 400 pages, but that's a quick summary of all that you get from me. Thank you. Namaste. Have a great event.
Ashish, in simpler words, do let us know that if Ayushman and me have a future, or if we should just become cartoons at some point in the day. All right, the next gentleman I'd like to call on stage. He's written a little something. He was 1988 IAS batch. He's done his civil engineering from IIT Delhi. He's been 7 years with the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. He's been Principal Secretary, Maharashtra State. He's been DG Acquisitions in Ministry of Defense, and he's also been Secretary for Ministry of Labor and Employment. But today we have Shri Apurva Chandra as Secretary INB with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call upon Apurva Chandra to share his note.
Morning, my colleagues on the dais and friends from media and entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Today's FICCI has put me on 4 panels, one after the other. So it will be like take, retake, and then thereafter the audience will be saying cut, 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 because I will be repeating myself in all the panels. So I will go totally off script and try not to repeat, but I think whenever you feel, then you can say cut, cut, and I will stop. We in the government, we would like to be facilitators and supporters of the media and entertainment industry so that it grows to world scale and not regulators. And that is how we have been working over the past few years, supporting the media and entertainment industry. Mr. Pherwani put up the numbers that there has been a 20% growth in 2022. The media entertainment industry in India has reached $26 billion, which is a remarkable figure. At the same time, there is a reality check that we are still 1% of the world, less than 1% of the world. So there is a world to be captured. The world is interested in Indian stories. The world is interested in Indian culture. And that is what we see when we win Oscars, when our films are appreciated throughout the world, the box office is rising, and the content on the OTTs, it is being lapped up all over the world. That is what Netflix, Amazon, and the others tell us. That the Indian stories now being dubbed and being accessible throughout the world are being lapped up throughout the world. But then, what is it that constrains us? Why is it that we are not reaching world scale? I would think that there are 2-3 things which are necessary for the industry to grow. One is, of course, the manpower, then the infrastructure. Yesterday only I was talking to some colleagues and they were saying that there is a lack of manpower, and there the role of government comes in. We would like to work along with the industry to set up more and more institutes so that more and more manpower comes on board. Animation, visual effects, graphics, that is the area where there is a tremendous potential. That area is growing 20% almost every year. But despite so much of, now we have become the most populous country in the world, but still there is a lack of manpower, and people, because now the content, the creation of content over the past 2-3 years since the OTTs have come in has grown stupendously in the country. And people tell me that there is nobody without work now in Mumbai or anywhere else where films are being made. Everybody is having lots of work. People are working double shift, triple shifts, and that is why probably Ayushman was also late. He must have been working till the morning, I'm sure. So, how do we get our young people to be trained into areas where the industry needs? And for that, last year we created the AVGC task force. The finance minister announced it in the budget. The report is submitted, and now we are going to come out with the AVGC policy and create an AVGC mission so that we can take the vision forward. We can work right from the school level into skilling our children, and in the curriculum introduce courses for animation, visual effects, so that in the computer courses and in their computer courses and co-curricular activities, whatever they do in terms of graphic arts and others, they can do using software, and then they can grow up into animators and creators of stories in animation and visual effects. Support in terms of National Center for Excellence. We hope that by the next year, when we come here again for this FICCI frames, we would be able to announce, or the National Center for Excellence will be operational in Mumbai, and we hope that next year we would not be talking about it, but actually be seeing that National Center for Excellence functioning in Mumbai. 4 major areas in media entertainment: films, broadcasting, OTT, AVGC I have already talked about. And in all these, government wants to play a supportive role. Last year, when I had come in the FICCI fast track, we had said that the merger of the film units is going to happen. Now it has already happened. NFDC has become the umbrella organization for all the film-related activities being done by the government, whether it is participation in films, whether it is production funding, whether it is film heritage or children films, etc. The objective of this merger is that whatever NFDC earns should be plowed back for the media and entertainment industry. Doesn't go into the consolidated fund of the country, because that gives more leeway, more funding to NFDC to work for the media, for the film industry. On the film heritage mission, we have given out, all the contracts have been awarded, more than 500 crores worth, and the work is going on at Pune at a fast pace. We have a target of digitizing 5,100 or so reels, of which 2,435 are feature films, 2,760 are shorts. And already till now, about 1,400 films and 1,100 shorts have already been digitized. Restoration contract, which was the largest of the contract, almost 350 crore, that has also been awarded. We are going to do 2,253 films, of which 1,145 feature films and 1,100 shorts. This is what the government is doing, and we have arrived at this number of films and shorts after going through a rigorous process of committees, national awards, and whatever we feel as the heritage. What I would like to call upon the film industry today, and what I have been discussing with my team, is that there are still a number of films and shorts which have been left behind, which are not part of our mission. Can we launch a program where fans like you come up and say that I am a fan of this film, and this should be restored, this should be digitized, and you pay for it. So I think we will come up with a program like that people and fans pay for a film, and that can be restored, and that can be digitized at resources which we have set up, and then we keep it in our vaults for safekeeping and for posterity. So we hope to launch this program soon. Also, NFDC, we feel, has been left behind. Now, for the past 8-10 years, we have not really been financing many projects. We need to come back again. We need to finance projects. We need to give support to young filmmakers who don't get access otherwise in the larger market. And also come up with the OTT of NFDC so that those who don't get access to theaters, they are able to, their films are showcased on the OTT of NFDC. The young talent gets a chance to showcase their talent. The Film Facilitation Office has been revamped. We will come out with a tender for the website of the Film Facilitation Office within a month, so that we take up construction of theaters, event management, film shootings, link it with the states, incentives, everything we take up within that Film Facilitation Office on that website. And we hope to get some good parties to revamp this particular website. The Cinematograph Act has recently been, the Cabinet has approved the revamp of the Cinematograph Act so that we take strict action on piracy. The Act is likely to be introduced in the monsoon session of the Parliament. We hope to get it passed soon. And once the Act is passed, I'm sure the film industry and those on the OTTs, they would be happy with the provisions which give powers to the government to directly take action on internet websites where pirated films get circulated. Regarding the International Film Festival of India at Goa, again, we would like to partner with industry. The NFDC wants to hire people as festival director, as marketing director, and in other positions, so that the festival becomes more professional, less of government, and we hope that the advertisements are already out, that people who are listening and those who have seen the ad come forward to make International Film Festival of Goa truly an international festival and a name to reckon with in the world. As regarding broadcasting, the new uplinking, downlinking guidelines came out just about a couple of months back. We have tried to reduce the burden of regulations. In many of the cases where permissions were required, we have reduced it, and now it is only intimation. On uplinking of channels, where downlinking is not being done in India, and the downlinking is done somewhere outside the country, we will reduce the requirement of paper substantially, very substantially, since we are not concerned about the quality of programming or the program content because it is not being beamed down in India, so that India becomes an uplinking hub for channels like other countries, because many of the neighboring countries go to Singapore, Dubai, etc., to uplink their channels. As regards OTT, because that has seen the most phenomenal growth over the past 2-3 years during the COVID period, the government has kept a soft touch approach. It is, in terms of content regulation, it is more of a self-regulatory mechanism. We came out with the self-regulatory mechanism in 2021. And I believe that the OTTs are quite happy with that, and the system is functioning well. Because till now, in the government, we have received only one complaint on the content of OTT, and rest is being dealt with either by the OTTs or by the self-regulating mechanism. So on the whole, we believe that the system is working well. We would like the system to keep working like this, but still, we would feel that the self-regulation should be exercised, and there are, of course, always murmurs and complaints coming about the quality or the language used, or so we would like this sector to grow fast and not to get bogged down by regulations. So, I would just like to say that the world is out there for us to capture. There is a lot of things which are happening, and as we are growing at a furious pace, almost 20% this particular year, but we need to catch up with the world in animation, in visual effects, gaming, content creation, and other things. Just 15 days back, I had been to the film city in Mumbai, which is where most of the films are getting created. But I was rather disappointed that the state of the film city is almost the same as it was 35 years ago. So that is what I meant by infrastructure. We need to create proper infrastructure if we need to capture the world. Best of theaters, best of studios, best of dubbing stations, and whole lot of such infrastructure needs to be created, where the industry and government need to collaborate. So now I will cut myself, and thank you.
You know, it's such a good feeling for an MC to see the inauguration going to the time. Thank you all the dignitaries for sharing in such punctual ways. We were, like Ayushman mentioned earlier, Deniz Burak from Turkey was going to be with us, but for certain challenges at the airport, international travel challenges, he couldn't be with us here. But he's been kind enough to share a video message, and I'll request Console to share that with the room.
Hello everyone. Hello India. Namaste. It's an honor to have this invitation to join you at FICCI Frames. Unfortunately, due to some unexpected problems, I couldn't be there with you today, but I really tried and still trying. Hopefully, I'll meet you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.
That was short and sweet. सबको WhatsApp ही कर देते हम. कोई बात नहीं, फिर हमारे guest थे वो. Now we're coming to the closing of our session, and this next gentleman I'm going to call upon has been an IAS officer for 17 years. He's been in the private sector for 19 years, and one of the few people who has had experience in the government, in the business, and in the academia. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to call upon Mr. Sailesh Pathak, our Secretary General of FICCI, to do the vote of thanks. And you've been also making very good notes, I notice. Can the console help him with his mic? Sorry, a nasty way of getting you to work.
I just wanted to save everyone some time. So, I'll speak from here. Dignitaries in the dais, I think all of us are extremely impressed with everybody here on the dais. But I'll come to that because this is a media and entertainment event. I'll just give a word of thanks in a series of stories, right? And the first is the closely guarded secret. I see a lot of young people around, standing room only. Guys, look at the audience. There are people who didn't get chairs, so a round of applause for the audience. Thank you. So for all of you who are younger than 35, which is the Government of India definition, the closely guarded secret is that everyone here on the stage used to be young once. All right? And at one time we were young. And since Ayushman talked about coming to Mumbai and this city has blessed us all, I started my career in 1986 with ICICI, 4 years in Bombay. So I love this city and I'm so happy to be here. So thank you, Bombay. The second story is about FICCI. Someone asked me, what is FICCI? And I said, a certain gentleman attended the 4th annual general meeting of FICCI in 1931. His name was Mahatma Gandhi. Interesting story, right? A round of applause for the father of the nation. So we'll celebrate 100 years, 4 years down the line. And I'm committing to FICCI Frames right now that when FICCI turns 100, FICCI Frames will be the landmark event, not only in India, but across the region. The third story is, in FICCI, there are a lot of foreign delegations. And when the Russians come, I ask them, which is your favorite movie? So the oldies say, Avara. The middle-aged people say, Sita or Gita. The slightly younger people start singing, Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy. Mithun Chakravarti, disco dancer. And then the latest fans are of RRR and others. And I still remember taking a flight from Morocco to India, and the Moroccan crew was telling us that in school they used to bunk classes and go and watch Shah Rukh Khan. And then they grew up and realized that ladki patana itna aasan nahi hai. So the kind of, and in Indonesia, I have seen Indian content, movies and serials, just all over the place. So I think you guys have captured hearts and minds. And I think that the art of storytelling that Indians have is amazing. The next 3 days, we'll listen to a lot of you younger and smarter people. But here's the thing, when FICCI Frames started, this is the 23rd edition, most of you did not have smartphones. In fact, around 13 years ago, most of you did not have something that you do have on your phones that's called WhatsApp. And in 2030, when India is the largest economy, the third largest economy in the world, the media and entertainment industry out of India will be one of the largest in the world. And I keep saying that business is all about taking good ideas, putting a little bit of finance, a little bit of execution, and converting it into cash flow. But it requires good people. And I think all of you who are present here are amazing at what you do. There is a concept called ROI, which is called return on investment. How many people have heard of ROTI, ROTI? It's called return on time invested. I just hope that over the next 3 days, the entire audience gets roti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. I'm going to request the dignitaries on the dais to stand for a nice photo op. With that, I would like the audience to cheer them. They've given us a fantastic inaugural session for FICCI Frames 2023. Please step forward. We're going to get straight into our next session, which is going to be Frame It in 10 minutes by Gopal Vittal, MD and CEO of Bharti Airtel. Don't go anywhere. I'll get there.